Chapter 11, Recap. How to make your 45001 system. First of all, congratulations for getting so far. If you completed all the 10 lessons before, it means that you have a good idea of what it really means being 45001 certified. What made things a little bit complicated, sometimes, is that we had to switch often from parts of the lesson about general topics and parts of the lesson about how to make your system. So, we made this bonus section that is just a useful recap of all the parts of your system. Think of this slide as a map of your system. In the left part, there are all the clauses of the 45001 standards. In the right part, there are all the documents, procedures, and instructions that make your OHS system. The point of putting everything into a chart is to make clear how everything in your system has been done in order to be compliant with a specific clause of the standard. In order to keep it simple, we didn't put subclauses too, but we could have put them here as well. Anyhow, let's check step all the clauses. As we saw in Clause 1, we have to say the scope of our OHS system. This is usually put into the context analysis. Then, for Clauses 2 and 3, we don't need to do anything specific in our system. For Clause 4, did we have to do something? Of course, a lot actually. Clause 4 required us to do the context analysis with our map of internal and external issues and interested parties. For Clause 5, which is about leadership and worker participation, we had to do many different things. Firstly, the OHS policy in which we wrote the high principles of our OHS system. Then, we had to write job descriptions and an organogram. This really helps in knowing who does what in your organization. It could also be useful to write down in a procedure the rules regarding job descriptions and organograms. Clause 6 required us to carefully read the context analysis and, starting from the information put into that document, write a risk opportunity assessment. And then again, if something noteworthy came out in the risk opportunity assessment, we had to put in place an improvement actions program. Also, Clause 6 wanted our company to be able to notice any change in legal requirements. Therefore, a list of the applicable legal requirements could be useful. Clause 7 was the one with all those pillars. It requires us to give ourselves rules about training and keep records of who is trained and who is not. Hence, a procedure about training could be useful. It also requires some rules about how OHS matters are communicated inside the company. Hence, a procedure about communication is usually made. And finally, it's highly recommended to make a procedure about the rules of your company regarding who makes documents, who approves them, and so on. A so-called document control procedure. Clause 8 asks us to manage some processes in a specific way. Therefore, it's highly suggested to have the procedures about PPE management, maintenance management, contractors management, emergency preparedness and response. Also, the documents related to these processes will be needed. Clause 9 will require you to make an audit plan and actually carry out these audits. Therefore, the auditor will ask you to provide audit reports too. Also, Clause 9 talks about management review, so it requires you to make these meetings and be able to provide the documents related to these meetings. Finally, with Clause 10, the standard asks us to have a tool to manage negative events through corrective actions. Okay, then does it seem too much? Actually, this is a very simplified version of how a system could be. Your system will be more complex, because it will have to take into account all your specific needs. So, with this slide, the course reached its end. We reached the top. Well done. Through this course, we covered all the contents of the course, both the theoretical and the practical ones. So now you know in good details what a management system is, and, of course, you know what an OHS management system is. We really hope that you are satisfied with this material, and we kindly ask you to give us some feedback on what worked best for you and what didn't. In Occam Consult, we firmly believe in continuous improvement, so your opinion is quite precious to us. If you have any specific question, don't hesitate and just write us directly at occam@occam-consult.com. Thank you.